Hello everyone, welcome back to Blue Ridge Silverhound, and I'm your host Sean, and today the coin that we're going to discuss is of course the revolutionary Jefferson nickel. Not just any one though, okay? If you turn your coin over and you found a coin that was minted in 1938, you have something very special. Now, the design of the nickel, okay, has been a huge success for a number of reasons. All right, it features one of the more prominent presidents, aside from like George Washington and Abraham Lincoln. All in all, a very simplistic, if not Art Deco design, adorns this particular coin. Compared to any other date in the Jefferson Nickel series, and keep in mind that this series has been out over 80 years as of the taping of this video, you're going to find that the 1938 Jefferson Nickel not only shares the same date with the outgoing Buffalo Nickel. Keep in mind that the Denver Mint was the only mint facility to produce the Buffalo Nickel for the final year of the Buffalo, but the Jefferson Nickels look a little bit different, okay, in the sense that they are probably some of the most strongest struck coins in the entire series. In addition, if you take a look at this coin compared to say a 39 or a 1940, you're also going to see that this coin also has a little bit of a higher relief. Just the design of the coin pops out at you even more. And again, that's the first year Jefferson Nickel. It's just a work of art. And if you found one and changed, then it's a possibility that you have come across a very valuable coin. Okay, there's a number of different types that you're going to have to look out for. But just finding in 1938 is a surefire treat in itself. Coins of this stature just doesn't come up that often because of the lower mintages. However, me personally, I have found actually all three of the branch mints just by going through change and rolls. Okay, I found a number of each one. A couple of them are valuable as they sit as circulating coinage. But what happens if you found a nice mint state example, that exhibits a really strong strike? Then you could possibly have a coin that's worth thousands of dollars. In addition, we're also going to talk about certain varieties to keep an eye out for. That's important, okay? And in addition, there's also a few errors. This is the one date that I can honestly say there aren't a whole lot of errors because it is the first year of a new series, and the U.S. Mint, of course, takes pride in the craftsmanship of all of their newest first and second year coins. So we're also going to look at the desirability and the rarity of finding any sort of error for this particular date. So what I like to do, as with any other kind of like date profile video, I wanted to talk about the three branch mints. There's a Philadelphia, a Denver, and a San Francisco minted coin that were all produced during the first year of the Jefferson Nickel. We're not going to focus on any proof strikes or any sort of special mint strike that's made and designed for collectors. These are all simply business strike coins that were made to circulate out in commerce and out in the free world today. All right, so let's go ahead and jump into the Philadelphia minted coin, as you have seen here on the screen the last few seconds. This one right here is a Philadelphia minted coin. Okay, it does not bear any mint mark. Okay, there's no P mint mark on the front or the back of the coin. This is the highest mintage out of the three branch mints that you'll find. 19,496,000 total pieces were produced. What I'd like to say is these coins right here, even in it as a Philadelphia minted coin, carries a little bit of value if you found one that's pretty beat up. Okay, I've successfully sold these for between 50 cents and $1. Generally, people that do buy them are looking for this particular date to put in an album. Okay, now that may not seem like a lot of money, but keep in mind this is the Philadelphia minted coin. The reason why it sells for that kind of money is because of the lower mintage. Once you get into 1939, that mintage jumps up way up. I mean, we're talking in excess of 100 million pieces produced for the Philadelphia minted coin. So I also want to talk about third-party grading, because that seems to be like the popular thing these days. The graders of choice, again, are PCGS, NGC, or Annex. You would simply send them a coin that you feel like might grade high, and they'll return the coin to you after they've graded it into a plastic holder, like you see on screen here. And you have a coin that could be worth a lot of money. All right, so let's talk about the highest graded example of a 1938p Jefferson nickel. The top grade is signed by PCGS, and that's who we're using for the grading basis of this video, is going to be a mint state 67 plus with full steps. Now keep in mind, it's not rare to find full steps on any one of these three branch mints, because again, we're talking about the first year of the Jefferson nickel, in which the U.S. Mint took great care in ensuring the quality of these, not only the coins, but the actual dies themselves. Okay, they wanted to put their best foot forward with the introduction of this new series and this new design. Only 10 examples were ever assigned that numerical grade by PCGS. So let's go ahead and talk about the high kind of like sale value of this coin. And this is the one coin right here that's sold on Bowers Marina Auctions, May of 2006, in the amount of $8,625. Now keep in mind, this might be 13 years ago, but none have entered the open market at this grade level since. So could we be talking about a $9,000 to $10,000 coin today, because there hasn't been an example that has hit the auction scene in the last 13 years? It's a possibility. This is a very valuable coin with full steps. You want to make sure you have 6 fully defined lines on the reverse of Monticello. That's going to be kind of like that place marker for a strong strike. So that's the Philadelphia minted coin. Let's go ahead and jump into the Denver minted coin, which is the second most available branch mint, but the mintage is really low on this. Okay, so for the Denver minted 38, there were 5,376,000 total pieces made. It hardly seems like a lot, but keep in mind, these can still be found in change today. I found a number of them, but even with the low mintage, this effectively puts this particular date among the top 5 lowest minted Jefferson nickels, which is cool. Okay, a very popular series with a low mintage. So let's go ahead and take a look at the graded figures for this coin. And PCGS has assigned 5 examples in a mint state 68 full steps. Okay, it's a little bit higher grade than the Philadelphia minted example. That's because Denver cranks out some of these higher quality, really hammered strikes that you would expect from a top tier, top shelf mint. So there have been no examples that have ever sold in a mint state 68 full steps. PCGS has a price guide value tentatively placed at $6,500. Now, if you're feeling lucky and you get one of these graded as a 68 full steps, and then you turn around and consign it to an auction house, you're going to have a coin that's going to be worth a lot of money. All right, seeing as how your one example will be the first one to hit the auction scene, it's almost like, write your own check. Tell me how much you think it's worth. It could very well be worth more than $6,500 because none have entered the marketplace. And finally, let's go ahead and take a look at the final branch mint, and that's going to be the San Francisco minted coin. These were also well struck. 4,105,000 pieces were produced by San Francisco during that time. Again, placing it within the top 2 or 3 lowest minted Jefferson nickels out of the whole series. Okay, which is pretty neat. Now, this coin right here, I've sold for between $3 and $5 as kind of like pocket change find. All right, so the coin in itself circulated, beat up, carries some value, okay, which is really cool. And people are looking for this coin as kind of a place marker for that album, and they just don't care about grade. All right, incredibly tough Jefferson nickel to find, but they do exist out there. I have found a multitude of them. PCGS has assigned only one example in a mint state 67 plus, as you see here. And this particular example did sell in auction, actually pretty recently, March of 2019, through Stax Bowers Auctions for $6,600. And this is the only one example that exists at this top grade. So that, in a nutshell, ladies and gentlemen, covers the Philadelphia, Denver, and San Francisco minted coins, along with their respective high grade levels and what you would expect to see from these coins at auction. So there are a number of varieties, okay? They're all found on the Philadelphia minted coins that you guys have to keep an eye out for. These are kind of tough because these particular varieties, there are 3 notable Cherry Pickers Guide varieties, 2 doubled die obverses, which are pretty tough to see, you know, especially in circulated grades. But there is also a quadrupled die obverse that is worth mentioning, and that's the only one that I'm going to show you guys on this video because it is kind of a little bit more dramatic coin in itself as a variety. Here are a few snippets of various close-ups of this coin. Of course, the images are courtesy of PCGS TrueView. As you can see, you're going to see a lot of thickening in the letters and the date of the motto and Liberty on this coin. Especially pay close attention to the bottom serifs of each individual letter and the date. Okay, so this will appear to have a lot thicker devices than your standard traditional 1938P Jefferson nickel. There are no known die varieties for the Denver and San Francisco minted coin as of now. I mean, there might be, you know, like a minor repunched mint mark or something along those lines. And that information can be achieved and pulled from like a varietyvista.com, okay, where they also deal in some of those minor varieties. Keep in mind, those minor varieties don't hold a very good secondary market value, especially for some of those circulated coins. So this is a really nice variety. Keep an eye out for the quadrupled die obverse along with the other 2, especially in high grades. People want these coins in like mint state 64, 65 and up. You know, you could cherry pick these at dealer stock or possibly on eBay with relative ease. Okay, keep in mind that the clearer the images that are on these websites, the better your chances of cherry picking something nice. So how tough is finding an actual mint error in a 1938? Well, it's extremely difficult. Again, they put all their eggs in one basket in terms of the quality control aspect of this particular date of Jefferson nickel. So finding errors of any sort of measurable value is few and far between, which makes it one of the rarest dates for any sort of error. So the first one I wanted to talk about today is going to be this 1938P Jefferson nickel. This one exhibits what they call an obverse struck through capped die, okay, which means when these coins were struck and, you know, they are struck in rapid succession, you know, a coin can get stuck to the hammer die is what it's called. That's the die that moves and strikes a coin as it sits on the anvil die, which is stationary. So when a coin is stuck to the die as almost kind of like a hat or a cap, all right, it will also strike all the other subsequent coins with that hat on, and then you'll get a coin that you see here. Now this one is an NGC mint state 64, and this one sold on Heritage Auctions November 16th of 2010 in the amount of $36. It doesn't seem like a whole lot, but, you know, this did sell during a time when not a lot of people were collecting errors as they are today. All right, again, 1938 is a very difficult year, so this one just probably fell through the cracks and not a lot of people know about it. So the next example that I wanted to highlight for you here today is going to be another Philadelphia minted example. And this one is a broad struck coin, okay, that exhibits a partial kind of indented brockage on there as well. Okay, this is a very dramatic, visually appealing coin, even though the actual finalized value doesn't quite measure up to what you're getting. So this is an Annex Mint State 65 graded example, and this one sold on Heritage November 11th of 2014 in the amount of $53. All right, so again, a coin that I feel like in today's standard should be worth a little bit more, even though this sale is relatively recent at only 5 years old. This is a coin that has a lot of appeal to the error community. Keep an eye out for stuff that looks like this. And finally, we have one more error, and it's the most priciest of the bunch, but not a huge value, okay? There's not a lot of errors in 1938 Jefferson nickels, so there's not a whole lot of auction information that I can provide. But the last one that we have here is going to be a coin that was at one point a reverse die cap. So this was that theoretical hat for the hammer die when the coins were being struck at that time. This is an NGC Mint State 64 example, and this one sold on Heritage Auctions January 11th of 2009 in the amount of $345. This is a really nice coin right here. A great kind of like error statement piece for your collection. The likelihood that you'll find one of these is going to be very difficult, but keep in mind, if you're looking for any coin that I've talked about today, be sure to try and cherry pick a really nice, high quality, fully struck example that could grade higher than 66. Generally, so it's going to be kind of like lottery odd shots of finding an actual high graded coin in pocket change or in rolls, but you never know. I've come across some pretty nice high grade stuff like Mint State 65 and 66 level coins straight out of rolls, as a result of people just rolling these coins up that were part of an old collection and then sending it to the bank. And their loss is your gain. Keep an eye out. Lots of high quality stuff will be coming out during the holidays as people roll up their coins and their collections to make room for money for buying gifts for the holidays. And that, ladies and gentlemen, wraps up probably one of the more interesting videos I've done, an interesting date in the 1938 Jefferson nickel, which is still found in change today. I hope you guys find one, and if you did have one in nice quality, keep in mind, your coin has value. So for all you coinaholics, again, we are discovering together. Be sure to like, share, subscribe, hit that bell for instant notifications. Again, thank you for all of your wonderful, wonderful views and support. I will see you next time. Have fun with the hobby and take care.